Hello and welcome to Pitt Street Research. My name is Stuart Roberts and I'm one of the founders of our firm. And with me are two emerging legends of the gold mining business, Ian Hastings and Peter Mitchell. They're with a little firm called 3D Resources. Gentlemen, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, now you've probably never heard of 3D Resources, but you will in the not too distant future. These gentlemen have just acquired from the receivers a very valuable gold field in southern New South Wales called Adelong. Peter, let's start with you. Adelong, if I look on the back in the history books, in the 1850s, this was the place people were rushing to from all over the country as the next big thing in gold mining after the Victorian goldfields, right?
Yes, it was one of the big rushes of New South Wales. This has had a very good, strong history in the past. Some very high-grade deposits found.
Yes, like we're talking ounces to the ton was the typical grade from some of the better shafts on the field historically.
Yes, initially some of the mines were producing over 7 to 8 ounces per the ton.
Yes,
from near-surface deposits, and the average for the field in terms of high-grade underground mining was well over 1 ounce, so 1 to 3 ounces.
Yes. Now, next time I go skiing down in the snowy mountains, I'll actually be able to pass through this town. You're about 12 kilometres from Tumut, and I think about 80 kilometres from Wagga. It's fair to say that you're not too far away from some decent population centres in terms of people who will come and work for you at Adelong.
Oh yes, it's well positioned, and actually the highway runs through Adelong itself, and we're just north of that town.
Right. Now, doing my homework on Adelong a little while ago, there have been various efforts since about 1979 to resurrect this historic field, which I think if you add it all up, there was about 800,000 ounces worth of historic production up until about the 1950s, if I recall.
Yes, that's the correct production figure. Historically, they actually found some of these deposits we're looking to mine in that 19th century period. So the exploration in 1979 was based on targeting these historical records and proving up the resources that had been found.
Yes. Now, Ian, turning to you, you've just done a deal with the receivers of the last company that attempted to resurrect this field. Talk to us about the deal that you've just done in order to bring Adelong into 3D Resources.
Yeah, well, the background for this one is that we are acquiring it out of receivership. We're paying about 1.4 million for a project that had previously attempted to IPO an evaluation of about 40 million. For our 1.4 million, we're acquiring all of the plant and equipment, which has a written down valuation of about 1 million. We're picking up about $200,000 worth of real estate, which the licenses are situated on, and about $400,000 in cash bonds lodged with the New South Wales government, together with, of course, the JORC resource of 127,000 ounces of gold. So we think it's a pretty good deal, and quite cheap. Yes.
Now, Peter, I spent last Sunday afternoon, instead of relaxing, I was reading over your independent geologist report when you announced this project a little while ago. And let me tell you, it was riveting reading. There are about 20 shears underneath the Adelong field, most of which have never been explored with modern exploration techniques. And indeed, even the old guys from the 19th century didn't really know about very well. And yet, just about all exploration since '79 has concentrated on just the Challenger deposit in the middle of the field where the grades were particularly strong, which potentially could be a company maker for you.
Yes, obviously there has been a degree of exploration through the field, but the predominant exploration was done at Challenger, where they drilled, I think it was 29,000 meters on the mine itself and a little bit more over the line of reef. So the other mines along that same line. So there is enormous potential within the actual gold field for additional resources. A few deposits which potentially will be followed up.
Yeah. So we start with Challenger, and there's a little Currajong deposit not far away. The adit and the shafts are repaired and dewatered. So really, it's a matter of you getting the processing system right to get some decent recoveries from what you think is pretty high grade ore that you're going to be stoping?
Obviously, the plant that was operating didn't quite work as efficiently as it was supposed to. There's a lot of metallurgical test work to prove that it should. It just was a mismatch of equipment that they installed. So it wasn't a major issue. It's not a fatal issue for the project. It's just more a matter of putting the right equipment in the right place in the mine.
Right. And obviously you've had some experts talking to the receivers, and you'll inherit the know-how that they've contributed to this workout process. So they've made the job easy for you.
Oh, dead easy. I mean, it took them a year to go through the process of getting all these independent experts to give a view on how best to develop this project, and we've got that all for free.
Right. Well done on what you've achieved. Now, Ian, you've got till June 30 to close this transaction out. It's in stages in terms of what you owe the receivers to get hold of the project. Talk to us about the timeline going forward.
Yep, the terms of the deal are that we can pay in tranches. We're preferring, I think, to raise all the money and settle the transaction in one go, so that we can get on with developing it and promoting it. But if we need to, we can spread the payments out.
Okay. Now, so one final question. Obviously, COVID-19 is disrupting all sorts of business activity at the moment. So it'll be a while before we're free of that condition. Let's say you're able to close out on this particular transaction quickly. Would there be any hindrances of you getting moving with your work as of the close of that transaction?
No, with Zoom, we're able to have conference calls between experts. And one of the parts of the projects that we're looking to do is to compile the best approach to redeveloping this project. So looking through all the different options and coming up with a commercial view. However, obviously there's drilling and further exploration work to be done. Some of this might be hindered a little bit, partly through COVID-19 and partly through government approvals to do that drilling.
We should just add, we get a huge database of information with this project, and a lot of that is information that really isn't publicly available yet. One of the things that we can do is work through that, and without doing any on-ground work, seriously put out some increased information. So that'll be something that we're focusing on as well.
All right, good. Well, gentlemen, well done, and good luck on completing this transaction. And we look forward to 3D Resources getting on everyone's radar screen in the not too distant future.
Thank you.
Thank you.